Why do some men walk into a room and own it, their presence pulling every eye, sparking curiosity, igniting desire? Why does a woman's gaze linger on them, her heart quickening, even when they haven't said a word?
It's not about money, looks, or clever lines, it's power. Not the power to dominate others, but the power to master yourself, to stand unapologetically in your truth. Niccolo Machiavelli, the master of strategy, wrote, "The lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. One must therefore be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves." Here's the first brutal truth. You're exhausted, chasing approval, when the real game is claiming the strength that's already yours. Picture this. You're living a life of quiet desperation, always one step behind, trying to prove yourself. You bend over backward to be liked, to fit in, to win her attention, but it slips through your fingers. Why? Because you're playing a losing game. You're not a lion or a fox. You're a shadow, dimmed by insecurity, drained by the need to please. Are you living as a king, or are you begging for scraps like a stray? The world doesn't reward those who shrink. It bows to those who stand tall. Consider John, a 30-year-old accountant, the quintessential nice guy. He's polite, reliable, always ready to help, but women pass him by for men who seem less perfect, yet radiate unshakable confidence. John spends his days trying to be what others want, agreeable, safe, predictable, but it leaves him hollow. He's not alone. Countless men live this way, pouring energy into pleasing others while their own power lies dormant. They wonder why they're tired, why they feel invisible. The answer is simple: they haven't claimed their strength. Machiavelli's wisdom cuts through the noise. Power is not given, it's taken. Not through force or deceit, but through the courage to know yourself, to build a life that demands respect. Women don't beg for a man who grovels. They're drawn to one who knows his worth and lives it. What would it feel like to walk through life with that kind of certainty? To wake up not with doubt, but with purpose? To know that you don't need to chase because your presence alone pulls others in? Here's the brutal reality. Most men waste their lives seeking validation instead of forging a life that commands it. You're not here to be liked. You're here to be respected, to be magnetic, to be the man you were meant to be. This isn't about manipulating others. It's about liberating yourself. Imagine the weight of insecurity lifting, the freedom of standing tall, your energy no longer scattered by the need to prove yourself. That's the power Machiavelli teaches, the power that makes women and the world take notice. Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear, Machiavelli said. Right now, you might be driven by the fear of rejection, of not being enough. But what if you chose love for yourself, for your potential, for the life you could build? That shift is where your power begins. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about unleashing who you already are. So I ask you, why are you still chasing when you could be claiming? Your exhaustion comes from living small, from running after approval instead of building a life that inspires awe. This is your wake-up call. Stop begging. Stop shrinking. Start owning the power you've yet to claim. The journey begins here with a single question. Are you ready to become the man women can't resist? Why do you fade into the background when you could be the pulse of the room? Why do others seem to command attention effortlessly while you struggle to be seen? It's not about what you say or how you look. It's about presence, the quiet power of being fully, unapologetically here. Niccolo Machiavelli's first hidden rule is to master this art, to become a man whose energy draws others in like gravity. Women don't beg for your words. They're captivated by the weight of your being. Here's the second brutal truth. Your distraction, your hesitation, your need to please make you invisible. When was the last time you felt truly seen, not just by others, but by yourself? Presence is not a trick or a performance. It's the courage to inhabit your own skin, to stand in the moment without apology. Machiavelli wrote, "The first method for estimating the intelligence of a ruler is to look at the men he has around him." Reframed for you, your presence shapes how the world perceives you. A man who is scattered, anxious, or overly eager blends into the noise. A man who is grounded, deliberate, and fully present becomes unforgettable. The brutal reality is this: a man who doubts his worth scatters his energy, leaving nothing for others to crave. Every time you fidget, look away, or rush to fill a silence, you signal uncertainty. Every time you check your phone mid-conversation, or speak to impress rather than connect, you dilute your impact. Presence is the opposite. It's the discipline of being here now with all of you. It's the way you hold eye contact just long enough to spark connection, the calm authority in your voice, the stillness that says you don't need to prove anything. Why do you let the moment slip away when you could own it? Presence is magnetic because it's rare. In a world of distractions, screens, worries, endless noise, most people are half here, their minds elsewhere. But when you show up fully, you create a vacuum that pulls others in. Women notice this. They feel the difference between a man who's chasing their approval and one who's rooted in his own strength. Presence isn't about dominating, it's about inviting, holding space for connection without demanding it. What would it feel like to walk through life knowing your presence alone is enough? Machiavelli's wisdom teaches us to be strategic, not frantic. Stop trying to be everything to everyone. Instead, be one thing completely, yourself in this moment. This is where attraction begins, not in what you do, but in how you are. Stop shrinking. The voice within you demands. Stand in your truth and watch the world bend toward you. The power of presence is your birthright, but you must claim it through practice. Step 1. Practice mindful awareness. Spend 5 minutes daily focusing on your breath. Notice thoughts without chasing them. This builds your ability to stay grounded in the moment. Step 2. Master body language. Stand tall, shoulders back, chin up. Move slowly, deliberately. Hold eye contact 1 second longer than feels comfortable to signal confidence. Step 3. Listen actively. In conversations, focus entirely on the other person. Don't plan your response, hear their words. This creates a magnetic connection. Step 4. Pause before speaking. Take a breath before responding. This small act adds gravitas, showing you're in control of the moment. Presence is not a gift some are born with, it's a skill you forge. Start today. Está en taller. Listen deeper. Own the moment. Will you keep fading, or will you become the man who commands the room without trying? The choice is yours, and it begins now. Why do you hide the parts of yourself that make you unique? Why do you sand down your rough edges, your quirks, your fire, just to be likable? Niccolò Machiavelli's second hidden rule is to embrace your complexity, your ambition, your flaws, your untamed intensity. Women aren't drawn to safe, polished men. They're captivated by those who dare to be raw, real, unapologetic. Here's the third brutal truth. Your fear of rejection is a cage you've built, locking away the very qualities that could set you free. What would happen if you stopped apologizing for who you are? Too many men dilute themselves, smoothing their edges to fit in, to avoid conflict, to be the nice guy everyone approves of. But nice is forgettable. Nice is a mask that blends into the crowd. Your edges, your bold opinions, your quirky humor, your fierce drive are what make you unforgettable. Machiavelli taught us to wield our nature strategically, not to hide it. He wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Reframed for you, better to be respected for your truth than loved for a facade. The brutal reality is this: a man who hides his edges fades into the background, unnoticed by those he hopes to inspire. Every time you swallow your thoughts to avoid rocking the boat, every time you dim your passion to seem normal, you betray yourself. That betrayal costs you, not just in confidence, but in energy, in presence, in the magnetic pull that draws others in. Women don't crave perfection, they crave authenticity, a man who's unafraid to show his scars, his hunger, his humanity. Why do you keep polishing away what makes you shine? Consider Tom, a quiet engineer who always played it safe, sticking to small talk and safe topics. He thought this made him approachable, but it made him invisible. One day, he let his guard down, sharing his offbeat humor and strong opinions on a date. To his surprise, the woman leaned in, intrigued, her eyes alight with curiosity. Tom's edges didn't push her away, they pulled her closer. His story shows what Machiavelli knew. Your complexity is your strength, not a flaw to be hidden. Embracing your edges isn't about being reckless or abrasive. It's about owning your truth with courage. It's about letting your intensity burn, your quirks shine, your flaws stand as proof of your humanity. What would it feel like to live without the weight of pretense? To walk into a room knowing your authenticity is your power? Your edges are your fire. Stop dousing them to fit in. Let them blaze, and watch who's drawn to the flame. Step 1. Identify your edges. Write down 3 traits you suppress, e.g. ambition, sarcasm, passion. Ask why you hide them, and what you fear would happen if you didn't. Step 2. Test small risks. In a conversation, share an opinion or trait you usually hold back. Notice how it feels to be seen as you are. Step 3. Reframe rejection. If someone dislikes your authenticity, view it as a filter, not a failure. You're not meant for everyone, and that's your strength. Step 4. Celebrate your flaws. Each day, affirm one flaw as a strength. For example, my stubbornness is my determination. Your edges make you magnetic, but only if you dare to show them. Will you keep hiding, or will you let your true self burn bright? Machiavelli's lesson is clear. The world doesn't reward those who conform. It reveres those who stand out. Start now. Own your fire. Be the man women can't forget. Why do you expect others to be drawn to you when you're not even proud of your own life? Why do you chase connection while living a story that feels empty? Niccolò Machiavelli's third hidden rule is to create a world so compelling, so vibrant, that others can't help but want to be part of it. Women don't beg for a man, they're drawn to a vision, a life that pulses with purpose and meaning. Here's the fourth brutal truth. A man without purpose is a ship without a rudder, drifting nowhere, unnoticed and uninspiring. If someone looked at your life, would they see a story worth joining? Too many men settle for routine, coasting through days that blur into years, chasing comfort over calling. But comfort is a trap. It dulls your fire, saps your energy, and leaves you wondering why you feel so hollow. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." Your life is your canvas. Paint it with bold strokes, with passion, with a vision that demands attention. A man who builds something worth desiring doesn't need to chase. Others are drawn to his light. The brutal reality is this: a life built on autopilot repels those who crave depth and adventure. If your days are filled with mindless scrolling, uninspiring work, or goals you don't believe in, you're not just cheating yourself. You're signaling to the world that you have nothing to offer. Women are drawn to men who live with intention, who pursue something greater than themselves, whether it's a craft, a cause, or a dream. Why are you settling for a life that doesn't light you up? Your purpose is your power, the foundation of your magnetism. Building a life worth desiring doesn't mean you need fame or fortune. It means crafting a world that reflects your values, your passions, your truth. It's about waking up with a reason to move, a fire that fuels you even on the hardest days. This is what makes you irresistible, not your achievements, but the energy you radiate when you're aligned with your calling. What would it feel like to live a life so rich that others can't help but want in? That's the power Machiavelli urges you to seize. Step 1. Define your vision. Write a vivid description of your ideal life in 5 years. What are you doing? Who are you with? Why does it matter to you? Step 2. Take one step. Identify one action that aligns with your vision, e.g., learning a skill, starting a project. Commit to doing it this week. Step 3. Curate your environment. Surround yourself with people and spaces that inspire growth. Cut out distractions that pull you from your purpose. Step 4. Share your journey. Talk about your goals with enthusiasm, not to boast, but to invite others into your world. Let them feel your fire. Your life is your legacy, and it's what makes you magnetic. Will you keep drifting, or will you build a world that others long to join? Machiavelli's lesson is clear. Fortune favors the bold, those who shape their destiny with purpose. Stop waiting for permission. Start crafting a life that inspires you, and watch how it inspires others. Build your kingdom, and they will come. Why do you spill your entire story the moment someone shows interest? Why do you lay all your cards on the table, leaving nothing to uncover? Niccolò Machiavelli's fourth hidden rule is to wield mystery like a master, not through deceit, but through the art of restraint. Women aren't captivated by what's fully revealed. They're drawn to the promise of depth, the allure of a man with layers yet to be explored. Here's the fifth brutal truth. Oversharing and predictability kill intrigue, leaving you as forgettable as an open book read once and shelved. What makes a story gripping if you've already given away the ending? In a world where everyone overshares, on social media, in conversations, in fleeting moments of connection, mystery is a rare and powerful currency. Machiavelli wrote, "Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception." Reframe for you, subtlety triumphs where desperation fails. Mystery isn't about lying or hiding who you are. It's about revealing yourself slowly, deliberately, inviting others to lean in, to wonder, to chase the next chapter of you. A man who gives everything away too soon leaves no room for curiosity or desire. When you rush to tell your life story, your insecurities, or your every thought, you rob others of the chance to discover you. You become predictable, safe, unremarkable. Women are drawn to men who hint at depth, a glance that suggests more, a comment that sparks questions, a silence that feels heavy with meaning. Why do you feel the need to be an open book when you could be a puzzle worth solving? Consider Mark, a 32-year-old graphic designer who used to dominate conversations, eager to impress with his achievements and opinions. He noticed women would nod politely, but rarely engage deeply. One evening, he tried something different. He spoke less, listened more, and offered only glimpses of his passions. A brief mention of a project he loved, a subtle smile when asked about his dreams. The woman across from him leaned in, her curiosity piqued, asking questions to unravel him. Mark's restraint didn't push her away. It pulled her closer, proving Machiavelli's point. Less can be infinitely more. Mystery is a dance, a balance of showing and withholding. It's the art of being authentic without being transparent, of sharing enough to connect while leaving enough to intrigue. What would it feel like to hold a conversation where she's hanging on your every word, eager for more? That's the power of mystery. It creates tension, anticipation, a magnetic pull that makes you unforgettable. Be a depth worth exploring, your soul urges, not a surface easily skimmed. Step 1. Practice restraint. In conversations, share only 70% of what you're tempted to say. Hold back details and let others ask for more. Step 2. Ask questions. Shift the focus to the other person with curious, thoughtful questions. This builds intimacy without overexposing yourself. Step 3. Embrace silence. Don't rush to fill every pause. Let silence linger. It creates tension and signals confidence. Step 4. Hint at depth. Drop subtle hints about your passions or experiences. A single sentence, a half smile, without explaining fully. Mastering mystery isn't about being distant. It's about being deliberate. Will you keep oversharing, or will you become a man she can't stop thinking about? Machiavelli's wisdom is your guide. What you withhold is as powerful as what you reveal. Start now, speak less, hint more, let the dance begin. Leave her wanting, and she'll keep coming back. Why do you hesitate when you could stand firm? Why do you waver, second-guessing your choices, when you could lead with certainty? Niccolò Machiavelli's fifth and final hidden rule is conviction. The courage to decide, to act, to forge a path with unwavering belief in your direction. Women don't beg for indecision or timidity. They're drawn to men who know where they're going and invite others to follow. Here's the sixth brutal truth. A man without conviction is a follower, not a leader, drifting through life unnoticed. If you don't believe in your own path, why should anyone else trust it? Conviction is the backbone of magnetism. It's not about being loud or domineering. It's about the quiet strength of knowing your values, making choices, and owning them without apology. Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." This is your call to act decisively, to lead with clarity in a world muddled by doubt. A man with conviction doesn't need to chase. His certainty pulls others into his orbit. Indecision signals weakness, repelling those who crave strength. Every time you hesitate, defer, or seek approval before acting, you diminish your presence. You become the man who waits for permission, not the one who sets the course. Women are drawn to men who take charge, not through control, but through the confidence to make decisions and stand by them. Why do you let doubt steal your power when you could wield certainty like a blade? Conviction is more than making choices. It's living them fully. It's the way you choose a restaurant without endless debate, plan a date with confidence, or pursue your goals with relentless focus. It's the fire in your eyes when you speak about what matters to you, the steadiness in your voice when you say, "This is what I believe." What would it feel like to move through life with that kind of clarity? To know your direction and lead others toward it, not because you demand it, but because your conviction inspires trust? This is Machiavelli's final lesson. Leadership is not a title, it's a way of being. Conviction makes you a beacon in a sea of uncertainty, a man others naturally follow. Stand tall, choose boldly, lead fiercely, your soul demands. The world bends to those who dare. Build this strength, and you'll never need to beg for attention. Women will be drawn to the man who knows his worth and walks his path unapologetically. Skill, building conviction. Step 1. Clarify your values. Write down your top 3 values, e.g., integrity, courage, growth. Use them as a compass for every decision. Step 2. Make quick decisions. Practice deciding small things, e.g., what to wear, where to eat, in 10 seconds to sharpen your decisiveness. Step 3. Own your choices. Once you decide, commit fully. Don't apologize or second guess, even if the outcome isn't perfect. Step 4. Lead in small ways. Take charge in everyday moments. Plan an outing, start a conversation, or propose an idea. Practice leadership daily. Conviction is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows. Will you keep wavering, or will you become the man who leads with unshakable certainty? Machiavelli's wisdom is clear. Fortune favors the decisive. Start now, choose, act, lead. Be the man who doesn't ask for permission, but creates a path others can't resist following.